Voodoo number 10, written by Joshua Williamson, art by Sammy Basri. Last issue we left off with both Voodoo and Priscilla going to Europa, the sixth moon of Jupiter, because there's apparently a dead city of Daemonites there with some super weapon. This issue is both showing them getting to the planet, but it is split. It's intercut, but it's two separate stories, so I'm just going to give you all of one and then the other. So Voodoo, she has arrived on the planet, and when she arrives, she finds this race of Daemonites that are very different from normal Daemonites, like completely separately evolved, and they're all fighting each other. And so she tries to sneak by without being noticed. She accidentally gets caught in a trap and is bound up by chains, and they're like, hey, something landed on this planet. That's fresh. All right, well, let's bring it to the master, to camp. And she's like, using my shape-shifting ability, I can just get out of this, but I'm just going to see what they can reveal to me. So she lets them take her captive, and she, as she's listening to their stuff, she finds out that they are all cannibals. And that's why they have gone generations after generations of literally devouring each other in order to survive. And that's why they've evolved so separately. But as they are talking about eating her, she just shapeshifts out of the chains, and she's like, all right, so here's the thing. Tell me where the weapon is, or else I'm going to rip you all to shreds. But as she does so, their master named Mole Stone jumps in, and he's like a supersized one. And they start to fighting, and Mole Stone is apparently actually somewhat intelligent, and he's like, oh, I smell you. You're a failed genetic creation of the Daemonites, aren't you? And she's like, I am anything but a failure. I was sent here by Hellspawn himself in order to get the weapon. And then Mole Stone's like, oh, you're with Hellspawn? Okay, yeah, no, we live to serve him. He is absolutely our master. Well, yeah, no, I'll take you over to that thing right now. Let's go. And so she's like, all right, that seems a little bit too easy. So they arrive at these gates, and he's literally just explaining everything. He's just like, yeah, I always thought they would come back for us. They never did. I eventually just came to terms with how we were abandoned, and we've been living our own lives here. And so he's like, okay, it's cool that you're so cool about this. And so then he stops, and he's like, all right, we can't go any further. What you want is inside there. And he shows this cave that's blocked by two giant human-like statues, like Roman guard-looking things. And she's like, why can't we go in? And he's like, well, the blue flame is inside, but we aren't allowed to get in. He's like, why not? And he pushes two of his like minions out closer towards the gate, and he's like, go on, show her what happens. And they're like, oh god. And as they make their way closer to the cave, the statues wake up and just tear them apart and then go back to sitting. And he's like, it's fine, I never liked them anyway. Anyway, yeah, it says that only the chosen one can manage to get in through this gate. And Voodoo's like, well, that's perfectly fine because Hellspawn chose me for a reason. I must be the chosen one. And she marches her way towards the gate. She's like, I believe in myself, and that's all I need. And then the statues wake up and start to attack her. So, not so much the chosen one. That's actually where the issue ends. But the other plot is Priscilla and the rest of the, I guess, Black Razors are making their way through space in this Daemonite ship. Priscilla's controlling it with her mind. And apparently Priscilla doing this is in a lot of pain, but she is still managing to hold on to focus. And then the other Black Razors of Flynn and Magnus are talking like, Lincoln, you gave up this ship to a woman who literally just like last week was imprisoned by us. And now you're just letting her fly us into deep space. I think maybe you lost your edge here. And Flynn's talking about like almost doing a little bit of a coup against Lincoln, and Lincoln just shuts that shit down hard. But we see that Walker is standing up for Lincoln. He's like, you don't talk to your superior officer that way. To which Magnus is like lifting him up off the ground, and he's like, I agree with Flynn. I think we're walking into a trap, and I don't like the way you're talking to him. So he just throws him aside. Walker bumps into Priscilla, knocking her out temporarily because she was already like highly in pain. And as such, the ship just starts flying wildly through space. But they are still on a crash course with Europa. So they're trying to figure out, okay, we're about to collide with the moon. How do we fix this? What do we do? And Priscilla's still out. Walker's trying to wake her. Finally, as she's getting closer and closer to the planet, she snaps back awake because she senses Voodoo. She gets the ship back under somewhat control, but it's still a very, very hard landing. And it looks like the ship is pretty much wrecked. And as they get out, they see that they are surrounded on all sides by these Daemonite off-breeds, or what do you want to call them, the cannibals. So yeah, two separate stories, but they both managed to get themselves to the same place. I do like the idea of Voodoo being so dead set on the, yes, I am the chosen one. Just to be smacked down hard again. Just like, oh, wait, no, crap, Jesus. So no, I'm a fan of that. Art, Sammy Basri still knocking it out of the park. Everything here looks fantastic. My only thing is that these Black Razors, the Space Crew or whatever they're called, just feel a little bit like, I know they're giving them personalities, but the fact that these highly trained military guys are just so eager to go on a coup just seems a little bit weird to me. I know it's having to set up some form of tension and having to do something, but it still feels just a little bit off for like this trusted team of guys to be like, nah, actually, we're just gonna override your opinion here, boss. So I don't know, maybe that's just me. Overall, though, I am gonna rate this one an 8. A lot of that comes down to, strangely enough, the leader of the cannibals. I just like the how they did the constant switching of expectations there, of like, he's this big hulking brute, but actually he's the smartest one, but now they're going to fight, but actually he just totally is like, no, yeah, you're totally cool, as soon as he hears about Hellspawn. Like, I don't know, I just like the fact that he's not as it immediately appears, which I guess is kind of the theme of this whole book, more or less. But 8 for it right now, and we'll see how it continues from here.